Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. Tonight's show, we've got, a fantastic Titan in store for you. We've got the educator, the author, the Kemetic antagonist himself, Zion Lexx, in the building. Shalom, shalom.
Hey, shalom, my brother. How you doing?
Well, right now I'm a bit underneath the weather. I got the allergies and a little chest infection. So I have to apologize to all of our supporters out there who's actually viewing right now. Sorry for starting a bit late. I'm just a little bit underneath the weather, but I'm getting better. I'm happy to speak with you. And I know you've got a very explosive show in line for us tonight.
Absolutely.
All right. So let me just quickly go through here because you know what you sent me over some topics for Sunday afternoon, actually. You sent me over some topics that you would like to discuss. The lack of objective scholarship in the conscious community, the romanticism of Kemetic spirituality, the blatant disregard of critical facts which exemplify other contributions from melanated cultures. Emphasis needs to be placed on the definition of terms such as scholar or debater. And lastly, what is the goal of the debates? Why are there no conscious community leaders organizing street teams in our inner city neighborhoods to counter crime and violence? Now, I know we're going to be talking about all of these things today, but you know what? I was actually going to entitle this show, the elephant in the room. But the elephant in the room right now is actually, you had an encounter yesterday, with with the Kemetics, finest, Professor James Small. Please give our audience an overview of actually what took place and how it went. But before you do that, actually, for everybody who's watching right now, viewing right now, I apologize, we started a bit late. So please, could you share the link out with everybody right now? Just go down into the share button down below, hit the share button, go to the Facebook, go to your Twitters, go to your Google Pluses, go to your Reddits, wherever it is. Please hit the share button and let everybody know we've got Zion Lexx in the building, fresh from his one-on-one with Professor James Smalls. So this is going to be a very interesting show. So please, please, please hit the share button and let everybody know that we're live right now. So yeah, please give us the run through of the encounter.
All right, so here we go. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and praise to the supreme intelligence of the universe, the God of our ancient forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yesterday was something that I definitely did not expect. I definitely and most certainly did not expect that Professor James Smalls, of all pillars in the conscious community, would have been one to have said he was unprepared to engage me either in a debate or on the topic at hand. Before I go into trying to explain to the best of my ability some of the reasons that I believe he may have said that, I just want to give people a genuine backdrop of what led to yesterday. Professor Smalls is a pillar in the conscious Kemetic community. I reached out to Sarnetta a couple of days ago and I stated that I wanted to have a dialogue with Professor Smalls. Matter of fact, let me be more accurate. I said to Sarnetta, because he wanted me to have a sit down with Brother Garfield, I told him that Brother Garfield is not on my level. But I said that I would entertain the sit down with Brother Garfield, even as I told Brother Garfield, simply because I know Brother Garfield outside of the whole conscious community. I was at one time very heavily immersed in the entertainment world. I hung out, did work for and worked with some of the biggest names in reggae and some names in hip hop as well. Just to touch on a few things to give a little backdrop on that as well. When I very first time that I met Garfield, he was doing reggae promotions in Bronx, New York. A road manager for MTV Dylon, formerly of Making the Band with P. Diddy. I was his road manager, and my cousin Tip Top was his manager. And Garfield wanted Dylon to come and perform at one of his events, so I brought him down to the Bronx, and that was my first time meeting Garfield. We're talking about 2007 to 2008. So, needless to say, I know Garfield for quite some time now, much longer than anyone else in the community. And that reason alone, I felt it necessary to actually go up and sit down with Garfield because I know him. But on a scholarship level, on an intellectual level, and on this subject matter, I know that Garfield is just clearly not on my level. So I reached out to Sarnetta because I don't like wasting time. With all due respect, Garfield is a friend of mine, but at the end of the day, I'm a lion, Lion. And as far as I know, Garfield is a pussycat, pun intended. I am a goddamn lion, and Garfield is a pussycat, cat in front of a lion. It just don't make no goddamn sense. So I said to Sarnetta, what would be more genuine that I know the people would want to see is since everyone else in your community runs away from me, why not invite a pillar? I said, I'm ready to sit down with people like M. Fudiji and Professor Smalls. He said, Zion, are you sure? He said, Zion, I called Captain Desariak and I asked him, would he sit down with M. Fudiji? And he told me no. And asked Sarnetta what I told him. I said, you calling the wrong Israelites. I said, when have you ever called me and asked me to sit with anybody and I told you no? I said, in fact, I volunteer. You asked me to come to the Kemetic conference at a time of my life when no Israelite leader, perceived leader in the community, wanted to stand anywhere next to me. Therefore, if I went to the Kemetic conference, I would have went on my own as I did with no support. And guess what? I did it. So I don't run. I go wherever I'm called and I volunteer for the job. Nonetheless, I don't waste time, and I definitely don't believe in wasting time. So I think Garfield is pretty much a waste of time, but because I know him outside again, it was kind of due to that I extended the courtesy. But I really wanted Professor Smalls. So Sarnetta called up Professor Smalls and said, okay, we're gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make this happen for you right now. And I said, listen, I want to debate him. Sarnetta knew that. He said, all right, just make sure that when you get on the phone with him, that you tell him that I want to have a dialogue with you, that I want you to come down. He said, just be very respectful. He said, if you're very respectful about it, I don't think Professor Smalls will deny it. So when Professor Smalls got on the phone and I spoke with him in Sarnetta's hearing, I said, listen, Professor Smalls, you're perceived as a pillar in the community. You're honest. I said, for those reasons, I would love to sit down and have a dialogue with you, spirituality and the Hebrew paradigm. I said that I believe that I'm fully capable of having that conversation with you while holding my cool. Because number one, I don't see you as a person that can bring out a character simply because you are an elder, number one, and you are a pillar in the African conscious community. So there's no need for me to disrespect you. So by all means, I would love and be honored if you would come and do it. And you know what Professor Small says? He says, Zion, I respect your scholarship as well. And he said, only because it's you and you're asking me, will I do it? This is Professor Smalls. He even said it yesterday on the couch. He repeated himself. He said, only because it's you and because you invited me, you asked me to, will I do this? I don't just sit with anybody. So before I even go a little further, let me just throw that in real quick. Professor Smalls made it clear that he don't just sit down with nobody. So all the people that were throwing shade saying, Zion Lexx got some nerve. How the hell he gonna ask to sit down with Professor Smalls? Listen, Professor Smalls himself said not just on the phone to me, but even yesterday on live TV, that the only reason why he did it is because it's me and because I invited him. He don't just sit down with anybody like that. So at that moment, in that instance, at that time, he was giving me great respect and high praise because he's letting me know and the community know it is because of my scholarship that he allowed himself to even entertain it. So all the people that want to hate, you may even have valid reasons for why you want to hate. But one thing you cannot do is tell Professor Smalls who he deems is worthy to sit down with him. And guess what? As we all saw yesterday, clearly I was worthy because clearly he accepted it. So I just want to kind of calm that down real quick. Moving on, Professor Smalls, he arrived at Sarnetta's house shortly after me. We all was parked in some nice cars. I think Sarnetta had the best one. He got the S550. But we all was chilling, parking lot pimping, if you will. And Professor Smalls came late. He came last. And when he came upstairs, he had a shoulder bag with some books. He had two books in his hand, as well as a scroll of a Kemetic timeline. If you ask me, Professor Smalls came ready for something. Whether or not he came ready to have a full out debate with me is up for question. And I'm not going to force that. But I will say, based on what I saw him bring and what he's on camera holding, he clearly came prepared for something. So I'll leave it at that. And I'll allow you to possibly ask a question, which will lead into me really explaining what happened that evening. If there's any question that's coming from the comment board on YouTube with regard to it, I'll take it really quick. Or if you have a question based on anything I said, you can ask it. If not, I'll just go into the dialogue.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's best for you to go in with the dialogue right now, because right now, I'll admit, I only got to watch about half an hour of the dialogue between you and Professor James Smalls. You know what? I was really intrigued by where this conversation was about to go. But you know what? There was a question dealing with the Exodus. Did the Exodus happen or did it not happen? It seems as though Professor James Smalls didn't want to actually, you know what, delve into that type of conversation with you, or did you not actually go into that conversation? Because I kind of dropped off at that point.
Okay. So I'll address that and then I'll go into the dialogue as you suggested.
Cool.
So yeah, definitely. Professor Smalls, he definitely entertained that question. The question was actually first posed to him, and then it was posed to me. To do it, he had to bring up the Exodus. He feels like the Hebrew Israelite community cannot defend whether or not the Exodus is a historical event. Therefore, that's the one question that Sonata almost sound like a scholar when he raised it. So I respect that he asked the right questions, but he asked it to Professor Smalls first. And anyone that was listening to the live stream, and I was taping it live as well, just for everyone to know, I have a copy of the entire show, just in case things aren't aired. I just want that to go on the record. Um, Professor Smalls actually agreed that an exodus of the Israelites may have occurred because he says I don't see any need, and I'm not paraphrasing, I'm actually quoting him verbatim. Why? Because I actually have the full recording. He says verbatim, I don't see any need to not acknowledge the Exodus story. He said everyone has an Exodus story. He said the Kemetic version of it may differ from that which is in the Hebrew text, but I cannot deny any ancient culture an Exodus story because from my knowledge of his history, every culture of antiquity has an Exodus story. So the Hebrews have one as well. And the Kemites talk of one, they talk about the Hyksos expulsion, and that's a form of an exodus. Whether or not the children of Israel are represented among the Hyksos community is another question. But nonetheless, Kemet does record an exodus of Asiatics. This is what Professor Small said. I jumped on and I reiterated the exact same thing. So it was definitely touched on by both parties, although we did not get to go into it and explore it in depth. But we both actually entertained it. And again, Professor Smalls actually agreed that there is a possibility that the Hebrew account of the Exodus may in fact be historical, because I'm quoting him again verbatim. He says he cannot deny any culture of antiquity an Exodus story because he know that everyone mass migrated from places at different times. And he says the fact that we know of the Hyksos expulsion, which is a form of an Exodus, means that we cannot deny the Hebrews of their version. So that's powerful. Now going into yeah, we lost you for a second. I didn't even want to continue until you were still there. So you back on, and I'm going to continue.
Please do.
So fast forwarding now. Oh, did you want to ask a question?
No, please continue.
Okay. So fast forwarding now. Um, I actually start pressing Professor Smalls with questions that speak towards things that he has said on camera with regard to the heritage of the Torah, its people, its language, and its culture. I started quoting verbatim his videos, so much so that Sarnetta was in the background saying, Zion Lex, man, he's got quite a memory on him. How do you remember every single word Professor Small said? At no single time did Professor Small say I was misquoting him or I was misrepresenting him. He was just upset that I was quoting him because he felt that I was setting him up for a fall. To be very honest, which I was. Because if you speak something into existence, you should be able to stand upon that which you speak. I didn't think that I was being offensive when I asked Professor Smalls questions based on things he said. I did not about the professor. The professor could have said, Zion, I don't have a problem with you questioning me, but you're making things up. He didn't say that. He simply said, I don't like how you're quoting me from videos as if you think you're qualified to debate me. That was the first point in the dialogue that I, for the very first time, had to look at Professor Smalls very differently. Why? A man of 70 plus years old to look at a youth and say, you are not qualified to question me or debate me, to me, that is extremely arrogant. There's a saying among the sages of Torah which goes like this: the greater you are, the more humble you should be. I'm going to repeat that. The greater you are, the more humble you should be. When an elder reaches a point, or anyone for that reason, where they can no longer be questioned or they can no longer learn from someone, then I can no longer have the same respect level for them that I previously did, because there's no graduates in this school of wisdom. You don't get a graduation cap because you're an elder. You know what you do get? You get great respect. So when he changed his tone and his mouth started to shake because you could tell that he was really upset, I held it down for the first time on camera. People were surprised. It was like, wow, Zion ain't turning up. Yeah, nope, Zion ain't turning up, because guess what? Zion actually follows the laws that are written in his Torah. So I certainly did not turn up. I sat there, I kept my mouth shut. I even said in the people's hearing and to the professor, I said, I'm not going to respond to that with the same vibration. I said, the professor is an elder, and I, although being 37 years of age, I'm a child compared to him. Shut my mouth up right now as a child, and I'm going to let the elder speak his piece. That's exactly what I did. Um, he became very arrogant, belligerent, and the language, his choice of words was just so disheartening that there were several people that were reaching out to me at that point, begging me not to respond with the same vibration. And I couldn't respond to them via text message. I could only read it. But I acknowledged what they were saying, but my heart was already resolved on not regurgitating that kind of an energy, simply because he is my elder. He may not belong to my community, but I consider him my elder because of his age. And that goes a long way in the Torah. And I think I proved that. Now, after he left, my tone certainly changed because I felt that he drew first blood with the arrogance. Also, the entire reason why I really wanted to have the sit down with him is because of a video that I'm going to air on my YouTube page and Facebook page this week. Professor Smalls is on camera on Sonnet TV calling the Israelite way of life in the Torah a piece of shit. And he's asked by Sutek to explain to him what are his thoughts on the Hebrew doctrine. And he turns to Sutek, Brother Sutek, shout out to you. He turns to Brother Sutek and he says to him, well, what do you expect? They have shit. So, I mean, when you have shit, what do you expect? You can't really expect them to really be any better than what they are. And he was really talking about the group of Hebrews known as ISUPK, because the conversation was really centered around the radical fractions within the Israelite community. Of course, you know that would always bring up names like GMS and ISUPK. So, in reference to their behavior, Professor Small says, well, what do you expect? Look at their book, the Torah, it's shit. Can you expect anything else from them? I took disrespect to that because Professor Smalls has had friendships with pillars in the Israelite community who are much older than him, by the way, who he looked at as elders to him. I just want to put that on the record too, which is why when I opened up my dialogue with Professor Smalls, the very first thing that I said to him was, I said, Professor Smalls, could you explain to the people some of your relationships in the Hebrew Israelite community in the past? Can you speak about elders like Rabbi Halu Paris and Rabbi Poinsett? Of course, Rabbi Poinsett, Professor, you spoke at his funeral. You gave the eulogy. You're close friends with his daughter, Leah Poinsett. You have ties, Professor Smalls, with the Hebrew Israelite community. You knew and spoke with a major pillar in our community, Rabbi Matthews. The reason why I asked him to put that and for the record, to state that for the record, was because I was leading to the point that I ultimately made. How do you have camaraderie with people so much so that you go and speak at their funeral, right? But then you go in forums long after these people are dead and gone and speak about their way of life as shit. I'm trying to figure out what part of Mayat is that. And if that's Mayat, I'll tell you right now, I definitely don't want that. I'd rather Torah. Because if I love and respect anybody from the Kemetic community so much that I would deliver the eulogy at their funeral, I'm certainly not going to go up and call their way of life a piece of shit. In fact, you never see me on camera refer to Kemet as a piece of shit. But you know what you have heard me say? I've actually called the New Testament a piece of shit, did I not? During my rant on Sarnetta when I went up there to deal with Captain Zariak from ISUPK, I called the New Testament shit. It's Hebrews that's listening right now that are messianic, that I love because they're my brothers, that may not have ever heard this, but I always got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100. I've called the New Testament shit. Actually, I'm gonna quote myself verbatim, and I said I don't believe in none of that shit, and I was speaking about the New Testament. But I haven't even made such a statement like that about the Kemetic doctrine. So for Professor Smalls to have, again, the camaraderie that he's had with our pillars and then make statements like that, I said to myself, well, I'm going to have to expose some of your relationship to the community to show them your inconsistency, because it's really a matter of inconsistency that we're dealing with. We're dealing with a very inconsistent character, or we're dealing with somebody who loves money. And I'll bring out those reasons for why I'm even making those claims that I'm sure is going to turn faces, but I always got to keep it 100. Professor Smalls said during my dialogue with Shaka Amos that Zion Lexx could teach at any university throughout the world. Zion Lexx speaks the Hebrew language so eloquently and beautifully, and I definitely consider the Hebrew language to be an African language. Of course, we all know how Sarnetta gets down with the editing when it comes to videos specifically that I do when I go up there. That never made the final edit, so the people never heard Professor Smalls say during my debate with Shaka that I could speak at any university across the globe. Why? Because a week later, Professor Smalls is in Atlanta with Sarnetta and Brother Ankh, and he says that Zion Lexx did a horrible job and his scholarship was trash. I'm trying to figure out how a man can say that Zion Lexx can speak at any university across the globe to his face while Shaka is in the room, and a week later, in front of Sarnetta and Ankh, say that his scholarship is trash and garbage. To me, it sounds like somebody got paid. Because I know he didn't get paid to say that I could speak anywhere around the globe. But a week later, you say that my trash is garbage? I really feel like that was inspired by money. Why? Because I caught the live feed of Sarnetta trying to generate money for my sit down with Professor Smalls. And in the live feed, he said, Professor Smalls asked me for some money to be able to sit down with Zion Lexx, because he's that's his contribution. He's coming out and he's a pillar in the community. Sarnetta called him a Kemetic grandmaster teacher. And, for his contribution, we got to support him. We got to pay. Professor Smalls is asking me to give him money. So I have two questions to ask. Here's my first question. What the hell did Professor get paid for in his sit down with me? Please explain that to me. What in the hell did he do that he got paid for? I put more work in on that sit down than he did. I came with scholarship, so much so In that sit down, he's on video saying he's no scholar of Kemet at all of a sudden. He even called me a linguist and a scholar in that same video. I never asked for nothing because that's how I get down. And I never received nothing because that's how I get down. Sarnetta himself could tell you, I have never once asked that man for money, never, to do a lecture. But these are the people in y'all community, because this is how the Kemetic community gets down. It appears and it seems like this is all about money. This is not about transforming people's lives. This is not about generating a genuine revolution. These individuals speak whatever the people want to hear. They lecture across the nation. They generate money from these lectures. They don't give back to the people on a genuine level. So to me, it's really about money. And I don't see where their money is going that they're getting from the community. Whereas people like myself, I don't do this for money. I never once asked Sarnetta for money. In fact, of all the times that I've ever appeared on Sarnetta TV or ever had a debate that Sarnetta was involved in, he paid me once. And you want to know how much he paid me, people? He paid me $300 to have a dialogue with Shaka Amos called a debate. $300. To this date, the only money I have ever received from Sarnetta is $300 to sit down with Shaka Amos. I would love to see Sarnetta attempt to deny that so we could really go somewhere with this. But that's real rap. And I have never asked him for money before that. And I never asked him for money after that. I didn't even ask him for that. He said that that was what he was willing to give. And I said, okay. People around me were saying, yo, you got to ask him for more. Like, you know, your contribution is greater than that. Like, Zion, come on, I know you. Like, you no joke with the scholarship. You're going to take $300, but you know what my thing is and always has been? It's much bigger than the money for me. I get money. I don't need Sarnetta for money. So I was never thinking like that. But again, some major things came out with Professor Smalls, and I'm not going to let them escape this. First and foremost, Sarnetta introduced the night before that Professor Smalls is way out of Zion Lexx's league. Well, fast forward, Professor Smalls, when he finally got to sit next to me, he said that I'm a scholar and he's no scholar. It's on video. He said I'm a linguist and he's no linguist. He said he is not a Kemetic Grandmaster teacher, and he called me a scholar of the Hebrew paradox. His words, not mine. So again, y'all can't escape this. This one is going down in history. It's the reason why you still haven't seen the video up on Sarnetta TV yet, because he's trying to figure out a way to do damage control. Do you guys know that for the first 45 minutes, the mics weren't working? The people that were listening were saying, yo, we can't hear him. You know why? The part that the mic wasn't working was the parts where I was getting the professor to go on record stating that he did say I could speak at any university throughout the globe, which he did. And ironically, it was at that point that I was asking him to confirm all the things that he said in praise of me during my debate with Shaka that he agreed to. The professor said, yeah, Zion, I did say that you could speak at any university. I'm not taking that back. You deserve that. You earned that. He said, now, do I agree with everything you say, Zion? No. But do I agree that you brought high scholarship that day with Shaka Amos? He said, yes. Therefore, I'm not taking back the statement that you could speak at any university. And it was at that time that all of a sudden the mics don't work. I have to ask the people a question. Whenever do Sarnetta mics don't work? This is disheartening at this point. When we get to this level of sabotage simply because the underdog is giving it to y'all grandmaster teacher, y'all look bad, not me. The video still ain't up. Y'all look bad, not me. The professor called me the scholar and said he's no scholar. Y'all look bad, not me. The professor was the one who got emotional. I kept it cool. Y'all look bad, not me. And I'm going to leave that part of the dialogue right there. Any questions that you want to ask pertaining to anything I just said before I proceed?
You know what, real quickly, it's getting real heated in the comment section right now. I'm just watching the comments and it's getting mad crazy. I see Team Osiris in the comment section Garfield's in the comment section. Peace to my sister Sci-Fi Living. Peace to Nana Amma. Peace to Ebony. Peace to who we got here? Monica Lamb. You know what? The comment section is going mad crazy right about now. They're saying to me that I need to open up the panel and let people in. And right about now, I ain't letting nobody in until my brother Zion Lexx finishes his discourse. And, you know, maybe afterwards we can let people in. Zion, just to remind you, you have space to let four individuals of your choosing onto the panel. So anytime you would like to do that, just let me know, or just simply send the link out to your panel members. Peace to my brother Basim. I see you. Okay, so let's get it in. Let's get it in. You know what? A lot of people have been messaging me. I don't know why. You know, in our Talk with the Titans Facebook group, they're saying that Professor James Smalls, I think they got confused. They thought that Professor James Smalls or somebody was on my show that walked out. So, but I'm hearing that it's quite possibly Professor James Smalls who walked out of the Sarnetta sitting with you on there. Could you confirm that, or what happened exactly? Did Professor James Smalls walk out from your encounter?
Absolutely. Professor Smalls definitely exited the building, but he set it up for that because from the time that he sat down, to his credit, he said that he had to be somewhere at about, I forgot the time frame, but he had to be somewhere to, I believe, bring his niece off the bus or something. He had to take his niece somewhere. So, you know, you got to give the man the benefit of the doubt. You know, I don't know his time schedule. I don't know. He definitely did say when he got in the building that, you know, he had something to do. But I just say, ironically, it was at the time that I had my PowerPoint up, you know, that he eventually had to leave. But here's the thing about it, you know. So I'm watching the comment board too now because that's what I love to do. I love to engage the public. I love to engage the people. You know, you got people on here talking about Zion is a dude that need to get effed up. You know, this is funny to me, Kalam, because Zion is a dude that went to the Kemetic conference by himself, draped, dripping in jewelry, dripping. And you know what? I walked around the entire room by myself, but people talking about Zion need to get effed up. But when these people see me, this never happens. So I gotta laugh because I know that real rap, these are YouTube gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if I was in your city, you might have the upper hand to say something like that. But being the person that I am, that's never going to happen. Uncle Ket could tell you to himself, as about 15 Team Osiris and Amon Ra squad dudes was around me, and I was by my goddamn self, and they was trying to turn up. I told Uncle Ket to his face in the front of all his comrades and peers, if you turn up on me, I'm turning up on you. What you think this is? Because I'm by myself, I'm not going to speak my piece. None of y'all put fear in my heart. That's real rap, and all of them was there. So again, all the people that come with all the BS need to cut it out because I've never been a frail-minded or frail-hearted individual. Never been that, and I never will. And I have to state that for the record. And if you feel some kind of way, you know where the lectures are. You could always show up and speak your piece or do what you got to do. And I'm going to leave that right there.
Hold on.
Moving on.
Hold on. Before you move on right there, Zion turned up for what? Hey, listen, I'm loving the information. I'm loving the energy. Real quickly, I have to drop this for everybody because we know we may have some new people who've come into the Talk with the Titans show to view you, Zion Lexx. So for those who are new to the show, Talk with the Titans was literally birthed out of the idea that the intellectual giants, the titans of the community, should have a well-organized platform to present, discuss, and debate critical information affecting our community. Proposed by you, our audience members, our community. So if you've got any topics that you would like to hear presented or discussed, please let me know in the comment section down below, as well as let me know which Titans you would like to actually see on the channel, and we'll try our very best to make it happen. You know, most people don't know that Talk with the Titans was literally, you know, created out of the chaos. We saw that there was so much chaos going around with inside of the community, where there was loads of shouting and arguing and cursing out each other. And, you know, the level of information wasn't being presented. You know, individuals coming onto these platforms never really had a fair voice to actually speak freely, you know. So we're kind of based on freedom of speech. So regardless if you like the fact that I'm allowing our Titans to continue speaking freely, like it's besides the point. This is what we actually birthed out of freedom of speech for people to actually express themselves and for our Titans to have a voice that where they may not necessarily have a voice, because usually the platforms come from a very biased perspective, and they don't really want to push a free unbiased narrative or dialogue. So this is what we're trying to do right here: push a free, unadulterated narrative to our community, so you can actually be critical in your thoughts, hear both sides of the argument, and go forward, do the research, and actually come up with your own conclusions as well. So as well, please, if you're here right now and you're new, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. It's literally just down below, down there somewhere. Hit the subscribe button for us and join us, okay? And if you're benefiting from the information that you're about to receive or have received, hit the share button as well. So you know what, my brother Zion, please continue.
All right, man. So I'm gonna definitely have to not look at the chat room
Nah, the
because
chat room.
you know, people, you know, is what it really is, my brother, is the internet is full of computer badman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you a typewriter thug. You know, you a keyboard thug. Again, you know, I've been to a number of these debates. A number of people have seen me, and anybody could tell you. Garfield is on the line. He could tell you. Zion Lexx is there with an entourage? No. Is Zion Lexx there by himself? Yeah. So, I mean, again, you know, if people feel a way, you know, you can always show up. But I do want to get back to the scholarship. Although I just have to always make it clear that I am built like that. I am a goddamn warrior. Unlike a lot of y'all who are frail, that need to hide behind the internet or hide behind an entourage. Most places I go for dolo. And I've always been like that because I can hold my own. And, you know, if it get out of hand, you know, there's always the trunk. Let me stop. But, you know, to keep it very, very real with you, yeah, I'll definitely pop it real quick on the brother. But to keep it very, very real with you, Professor Smalls is 70 plus years old, right? I'm trying to figure out, how is it possible that a man that old is not prepared? I said to Sarnetta immediately after all this happened, I said, Sar, you called me right after Hashar and them did the video of me called Snake in the Garden, where people were saying that Zion set them up. Now they're going to say Zion set Professor Smalls up. Brother Sarnetta said, he said, Zion, that's some weak ass shit on behalf of Hashar and them. That's what he said. He said, how they going to say that you set them up and they call themselves scholars? If you a scholar, how can somebody set you up? You call yourself a goddamn scholar. Think about it, my brother. I'm speaking to you right now. Think about that. You identify yourself in the community as a pillar. Listen, Professor Smalls is supposed to be sitting down with the masters this Thursday. Remember, I'm trying to figure out what part of the game is it that I could set him up if he's a grandmaster teacher that is sitting down at the gathering of the masters this Thursday, yet little old Zion Lexx set him up. He's unprepared. In fact, in that sit down, he said, the Amon Ra squad is better equipped to deal with Zion on this topic. I would need time. That's deep, my brother. You know what that tells me? That tells me when Professor Small says that Kemet is the oldest, he was being subjective and he was being ignorant because he never looked at Summa. Because guess what? If he looked at Summa, he would have needed no time to say that I need to come back and prepare. He would have already had it in his mind, in his memory, because he took it there as an objective scholar. This is the problem with the pillars in that so-called community. They have no objective scholars. I have never been on camera ever in my life talking about I ain't prepared and I ain't ready. That's some weak ass shit on a man level and on a scholar level, both of them. And I got to make that clear. I'm going to make them feel that. And Gano, who's my brother outside of all this, y'all know Gano.
Yep.
Galactic series. Y'all see him, right? You've had him on the show. Sarnetta's had him on the show. He was at the BAM festival. I was walking around with him. I was walking around with Shaka. We all was together. You know what I'm saying? Just so people think that it's all hate. We all was walking together. But of course, I was with Gano because that's my man. We very close. Gano just hit me up on Facebook. I just told you. It's on my Facebook post right now. Gano said that he heard what happened with Professor Smalls. You know what Gano wrote on my Facebook? He said Professor Smalls got baked and cooked. So all the people that's saying that, Zion is running around slender, listen, Gano don't believe in the Torah. Gano teach out of Kemetic text. And he said the professor got smoked and cooked. So again, y'all got the whole list, man. And the fact that I made y'all upset clearly lets you know that something bad happened. Clearly, how you upset? If he smoked me, if I didn't do what I came to do, what you upset about? You see, your anger shows you again what really happened. And this is just the bottom line, my brother, and I'm gonna make it very brief. The bottom line is this: anybody in the community that could deal with me in this information, and I realize that, especially among the younger generation, none of them are as scholarly astute when it comes to how we pursue objective scholarship as me. None of them can handle me in Torah. That's just out the question. That's why, if you notice, none of them really want to deal with me when it comes to the topic of Torah. Polite has definitely left the building. You know that. You sat down with him, and Polite asked you, if I seen a tornado, what would you do? You said pack up and run. He said, if you seen an earthquake, what would you do? You said pack up and run. And what did he say? He said, that's Zion Lexx. I know that he has the ability to destroy everything that I built. I'm not going to entertain embellishing on that brother say that. For you. Am I embellishing backwards?
Brother, you're cutting up a bit. Are you there? Zion, can you hear me? Okay. Zion Lexx is cracking up a little bit. Hopefully he'll be back momentarily. Or is it me that's cracking up? Please let me know in the comment section. Is it me or Zion Lexx that's cracking up? Okay, I'm going to continue speaking just in case it is actually Zion Lexx. Wow. So this is going to be real interesting. This is going to be real interesting. I see a lot of people that's messaging me for the link to come in to speak with Brother Zion Lexx. Again, Brother Zion Lexx, you've got a space for up to 4 individuals to actually be on the panel with you if you so choose. We've got Global Media Inc. I believe he should be on the panel as well. Who else we got over here? We've got my brother Ahut Kessi from the UK. I would love to see that brother on the panel as well. All right, Ali Dawood, I see you. All right, so I'm just going to wait for my brother to come back in. If there's any questions you would like for our brother Zion Lexx to answer, please leave them now within inside of the comment section. Yeah, please leave the comments, leave me some questions inside of the comment section so I can actually ask the brother those questions. Let me see. 1 second. Get Sarnetta on the phone. That'll be interesting. That'll be real interesting. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Brother Zion, are you back? Okay, my brother isn't back at present. We're just gonna wait for him. Let's see. Let's see. Can I move it forward? Okay, this is can you okay. So yeah, again, we've got our brother Zion Lexx coming to give us a nice presentation on a few things. Let me just get it up real quickly. He's gonna be talking on, oh man, what's going on here? The computer is a bit lagging. Let's just see. So our brother's going to be talking on a few topics. He's just gone through his encounter with Professor James Smalls. He will be talking about the lack of objective scholarship in the conscious community, the romanticism of Kemetic spirituality, the blatant disregard of critical facts which exemplify other contributions from melanated cultures. Emphasis needed to be placed on the definition of terms such as scholar or debater. Lastly, what is the goal of the debates, and why are there no conscious community leaders organizing street teams in our city, inner city neighborhoods to counter the crime and violence? So yeah, those are some powerful topics at hand to be spoken about. Hopefully we'll get our brother back momentarily to go in with these things. Okay. Let me actually get my brother Garfield in here. My brother Garfield, you know what, because our brother Garfield was one of the first ones to actually call out Zion Lexx. These two brothers are good friends, I believe. Okay, so let me just get my brother the link. Okay, so we've got brother Zion Lexx back. Are you there, King?
I'm definitely here. I'm definitely here. So let me just make this really really clear, because I'm definitely not a person that, I'm not into no long talking, as we say. I'm definitely not on that right now. I'm definitely in a different vibe, in a different spirit, in a different mode right now. I'm gonna try to bring it back to scholarship, but let me just make this very very clear. Um, what Professor Smalls thought that he was gonna come in there and do was he actually thought that he was gonna come in there and be the elder, and I was gonna be the child, and he was gonna educate me, and I was gonna be a student, and he was going to tell me where he agrees with me and tell me where he disagrees with me, and then mosey on out of there. Like all the bad stuff he said about our way of life is nothing to be spoken on. And he was in for a surprise because I definitely wasn't allowing that to happen. I wanted him to stand on his words. I don't think that that's wrong. If you bold enough to make a statement, then man, run on it, stand on it. He called our way of life shit. So if you that bold to make the statement, stand on it. And mind you, when I asked him the question, I didn't ask him rude. When I was quoting him, I didn't quote him rude. Anybody that watched the live stream again will notice that one thing we will have to give Zion credit for is the dude definitely did not come out of character while Professor Smalls was there. You know when I turned up? I turned up after he left. Because you know what? Call it the weak way, call it whatever you want. If it was anybody else my age or a little older or a little younger, I damn sure would have turned up. But because this was the elder and a pillar, I couldn't do that. So I had to hold it down until he left. Call that the sucker way out. I don't care. That means nothing to me. What really matters to me is the fact that your pillar called me the scholar, and he said he's no scholar. Your pillar stated that he can't deal with me on this information, that the Amis Raw Squad is better equipped. And your pillar said that I could speak at any university throughout the globe. Y'all gonna have to hold that. Um, this cannot be allowed to get into, Zion is in his emotions and he needs the praise, he needs that. You know what? It's not that I need it, my brother. You know what it is? Give me my just due. I whooped Shaka's ass when we had that debate. And people who know it. Shaka got his ass whooped. Period. But because the bottom line is when you cheerlead and your team is losing, you don't stop cheerleading. You got to still cheerleading. So I get it. The people who follow the Kemetic way of life are mostly cheerleaders, grown ass men cheerleading, even when they see that their leaders don't even align with the ma'at that they speaking. Even when they see that their leaders are some of the biggest crooks, not just in their community, but in all of the communities, but they still cheerlead for these individuals. We don't do that. We expose them. I expose people in my community. Let that be known. Let's keep that real. Where are the videos of the people from your community exposing the crooks in your community? I'll wait. But you know what I do? I speak on it all the time because I'm objective, I'm real, and I'm honest, and I will always be that way. Every time I speak, I lose followers. You know why? Because I always speak truth, and I don't care who's offended. Every time I speak, I lose followers. You know why? Because I always speak the truth, and I don't care who's offended. I'm not here for any man's glory. I'm not here for any man's praise. I'm not here to work anybody's ego, stroke anybody's ego. I'm here to tell the goddamn truth, and that's how I feel. Real rap.
That's real. That's real. And in that being said, I want to get this on and popping right about now. So please, if everybody would like to actually hear and see a discourse with some of the brothers from Team Osiris, such as Garfield with Zion Lexx, please give us a big thumbs up right now. Let us know that you're loving the information. That's number one. That's key. Let us know that you're loving the information. Give us a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see a brother like Garfield, have a dialogue with brother Zion Lexx, please give us a thumbs up. We've actually got Garfield here right now with us in the panel section. We've got Global Media who's just arrived inside of the panel section as well. We've opened it up, but they right at present do not have priority to speak. It's our main titan right now, which is Zion Lexx. He will be speaking, and hopefully later on, Zion Lexx would open up the floor for other brothers to speak if he so chooses. So, Zion, would you like to actually go into the rest of the points that you would like to cover today, or Would you like
Yeah,
to?
yeah, I'm gonna just address one more thing, and then I'm gonna definitely briefly open it up for some questions. I see the brother Garfield is here, so we can open it up for brother Garfield, have him chime in and speak his mind. But I'm gonna speak on just one more thing, and I'm gonna just make this clear. Um, I'm definitely coming for all the pillars in the conscious Kemetic community, and I'm definitely not playing. I'm coming for Mfudiji. I'm coming for Baba Heru, who Sarnetta actually saved yesterday. Sarnetta told me as we were leaving that he was going to give me the address for Baba Heru so that we could go down there because Baba Heru was on the phone and he was like, I heard him, it was on speaker. He said, bring him to me. And I started laughing, you know what I mean? Because clearly Baba Heru was watching the live feed, just like, and again, this is funny because when I had the dialogue with the Messianics, right? Um, one of them wasn't there. That was Tazariak. And he was so upset. He said, man, if I was there, it wouldn't have went down like that. But then later they putting out videos saying that they killed me, right? If y'all killing me, but y'all team members are saying if they was there, I wouldn't have smashed y'all. So y'all sound stupid. Um, to go back now, fast forward to this recent thing, Baba Heru was watching the dialogue professor, and Sarnetta got him on the phone. And because Mfudiji didn't pick up, I said, let's go deal with Mfudiji right now. Sarnetta tried to put me on the spot. He said, listen, man. He said, yeah, you might have got past James Smalls. He said, Zion, to keep it real with you, James Small is no scholar like that. Like, especially when it comes to Kemet. Like, he knows other things, but he's not no scholar in Kemet. So the first thing I asked him, which he had no answer right after that, is this. How is he not a scholar in Kemet, but he's initiated in the Kemetic mystery system? That's deep. That is deep. I want y'all to really think about that right now. I gotta raise my voice a little bit. That's deep. To be an initiate in a mystery system under a particular paradigm or doctrine, you at least gotta be a scholar in it. Just so you know, you at least gotta be a scholar. But maybe that's not how y'all system works. I know other mystery systems throughout the world. You have to show two things. You got to show scholarship and you got to show discipline. So I used to belong to a mystery school. I won't name what that is, but I definitely didn't show enough discipline. So I was asked to leave, by the way, so I left. And I'm keeping it real. I don't have to volunteer that to y'all, but I'm keeping it all the way 100. I was asked to leave because I had no discipline. But you know how I qualified? My scholarship. So here it is. How can Professor Small say he's no scholar of the Kemetic doctrine and science, yet he's an initiate in the craft? That's deep to me. To me, I have to now ask, what the hell is y'all craft about? Because when I looked at the great, and I'm gonna show great respect and honor right now, right? When I looked at the great Dr. Ben's funeral, right, and I watched Professor Smalls perform all the rituals, even he performed the opening the mouth ceremony. My brother, did you see that? Professor Smalls performed the opening of the mouth ceremony so that Dr. Ben can be Makheru. I was watching. I know what that is. I read. I read a little bit, y'all. Y'all don't give me enough credit, but I read. I was watching. I knew what that was about. Professor Smalls did all that. So he did all that, and he's not a scholar of Kemet? That's deep. I just got to say that to y'all. That's deep. That's deep. I don't want to waste too much time because I really didn't come here to do a PowerPoint. I really just came here to speak about some of the recent things. But because yesterday was such a major, major L for your community, I said I would rather focus on that. But we do have Brother Garfield, and I don't have too much time to spare, as I already told you, Brother Kalam, before we started the show. So let's let Garfield come on and speak whatever he has to say in whatever spirit he wants to speak it in.
All right, my brother Garfield. You know what? The floor is open to you. Team Osiris.
Hey, peace, brothers. How y'all doing, man? How's everybody doing?
Well.
All right. I didn't like what happened with Professor James Smalls because Professor James Smalls is somebody who actually changed the way, put me on a certain path. You know what I'm saying? I know him from back in the days. Leonard Jeffries, him, a couple others. I don't know what the preconceived notions were, but I don't know what conversation you had with Professor Smalls or what he think what was gonna happen, but I didn't like the fact after he left, you know, you said let's take this L, like the elder was debating you, and I think that sometimes, brother, we gotta temper down where we're coming from. I'm gonna tell you why. Professor James Smalls, I don't know if you know his history, but he's the type of brother that he would be an initiate, but he wouldn't be an initiate to the point where you say he's a master in a system. Because if you look at his history in the 90s, he would join every religion, because he used to teach that if you don't join a religion, you can't talk on it. So one year he would be a Muslim, the next month he would be a Christian, the next month he'd be under Yoruba, the next month. So he would join all these different religions just to show a pathway. Just like how you'd say in Egypt they had to go through 40 years or 42 years or whatever. He decided to do it a different route, in a way, being in the West. So now, if you look at James Small's history right now, you're talking about a brother who was a bodyguard for Malcolm X that was willing to take a bullet for Malcolm X. You're looking at a brother who helped Malcolm set up the Muslim Mosque Incorporated, or was a part of it. So if you look at the brother's resume, I just didn't like the fact that it was, to me, it wasn't a competition or whatever. I don't know the preconceived notion. So yesterday my comments was based on that. Maybe you try to ambush him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Again, I got to take that back because I don't know the preconceived whatever you guys planned or whatever it was going to be. I don't know if you said, hey, I'm going to check these certain things that you said in the past, because I know what you said on Global Media Show, but I don't know. So I can't say that. But after he left, brother, I didn't like what was said. Take a L, and you know, this is the elder, bro. You know what, Zion? Would you go to your grandmother and debate with her about her if she believed in Christianity? Would you say, Ma, Grandma, you gotta stop it? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I looked at it. How do you see it?
Okay, so this is how I see it. Number one, you have a brother in your community of which you are a subsidiary under his group. You call yourself part of Team Osiris, and it's a subsidiary of the Amun-Ra Squad. The head of the Amun-Ra Squad is Ankakek. And Ankakek has done several videos in the last couple of days where he called out one of our elders who's still around, Rudolph R. Winsdor. He called him pseudo. He called him trash. He said his book is garbage. He said he ain't shit. He said I'll debate him anytime. He spoke very disrespectful. So now I turn around and I call out one of your elders. And in my dialogue with him, I wasn't disrespectful at all. But you know what I did do? I at least waited till the man left. Now again, y'all can feel however you want about what I did when he left, but I'm trying to let you know why I did what I did. Now, you're not me, and I'm not you. And I'm definitely not apologizing for that. I felt that he deserved everything that I said after because of how he spoke about Torah. He called it a piece of shit. I never called the Kemetic doctrine a piece of shit. Never in my life. Never. And I still won't. I will tell you I disagree with it. I will speak to its greatness, to the things that I agree, but I have never went so far as to call it a piece of shit, and the people who believe in it a piece of shit. And then he turn around and speak at Israelite funerals, and you calling our way of life a piece of shit. And the Israelite funeral he spoke at was his damn elder. Did he tell you that? The Israelite funeral that he spoke at, which is Rabbi Poinsett, that was his elder. And after this man leaves and you deliver his eulogy, you refer to his way of life as a piece of shit. Then you tell me in my face that I could speak at any university throughout the globe, and a week later you call my scholarship a piece of shit. So yeah, I don't got no goddamn respect for him, and I don't care who don't like it.
Garfield, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. But brother, sometimes you gotta look at things. You gotta look at the bigger picture. I don't think even if Ankerket did say what it is, Ankerket is Ankerket. You could go challenge Ankerket, because I actually, Rudolph Windsor's book, from what I've read, I don't think it's great scholarship, brother. I think it's I'll be straight up with you. It's not on any standards. I've read it.
All right, but are you gonna call it a piece of shit?
What? Come on. You know how
I'm just asking you a question. Are you gonna call it a piece of shit?
Ankaket, I mean, I might say it, but I mean, does that mean you should hold everything that everybody says in the
Yeah,
community?
well, I would tell you I would tell you like this. If you could say Torah's piece of shit, then I would also call you
Not
a piece of
Torah.
shit.
I'm not talking about the
Because,
Torah. I'm not talking about the Torah. I'm talking about the Rudolph Windsor's book.
all right, well, that's my elder. So if you could, and me and you know each other outside of all this, like you know that, I know that. We don't got to fake for people, but me and you know that. But I'm telling you right now in the flesh, like if when you call one of the elders of my community a piece of shit or his scholarship a piece of shit, then that's how I'm gonna view you now.
All right. So you know what? Let's get into some real information. All right. Garfield, you know, over I think last week, I believe it was last week or over the weekend, he released a video with Sir Netta. And he was going in on a lot of topics. You know, he was going in on the Hebrews, he was going in on the Moors, but quite specifically, I want you to target the disagreements that you presented against the Hebrews and against our brother Zion Lexx in particular. And
Okay.
yeah,
Zion actually did a response video, a nice little video, you know, regarding Harka and what's his name, Hezekiah. The issue was that, you know, the brother made a good point. He said that Hezekiah he used actually Professor James Smalls. He appealed to to Professor James Small as a witness, that which I thought didn't make any sense to me because of what he said on global media. So I attempted to respond to him by actually playing that clip from global media, but for some reason the guys on that ran the YouTube channel, his stuff wasn't working correctly. But I'll say this: the brother, I mean, even in the Nile Valley community, a couple of people actually tried to pull my color and my response, and they actually were surprised of the information that I put out, because Hezekiah, although he might be a contemporary with Teharka, they didn't have any form of dealings. It actually was two other kings, Shabako and Shebitku, who was his brother. So what the Bible writers did is that because Teharka was the most famous in the 25th dynasty because he actually whooped the Assyrians 3 times, he was well known. So when the person who was retracting or whatever they were doing with kings or Isaiah, they basically put Teharka's name there as somebody who was contemporary with him, which he actually was, because he was born like around 708 BC. He would have been like 6 or 7 when the war went down with the Sennacherib. But he wasn't the general at the time, according to Kemetic records, according to their king's list, which I'm willing to argue with anybody about at that time period. I don't really have a problem with it. So at 664 to 690, or 688 to 690, to 664, Teharka ruled what we would call Kush, as far as Kush and Egypt together. You had different countries, Palestinian states, that were paying tribute to Kush to protect them, and the relationship that Judah had.
Garfield,
Yes, sir.
Garfield, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
When you spoke about Teharka, and when you spoke about the Judite kings, you were speaking from a point of view of what was written in our text versus what the archaeological record had, correct?
Right.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask you one question, but before I ask you the question, I'm going to make a statement. When I told you that I would be, well, not told you, but when I announced that I would be going into the Kemetic craft and dissecting it and decoding it, the very first thing you said was, Zion Lexx, do you read the text? Because if you can't read the text, what are you decoding? How are you going into the text, decode it, and you can't read it? So the first thing I'm going to say is this to you, Brother Garfield. Since I don't have to ask the question, I already know you don't read Hebrew. I'm asking you right now for consistency. The consistency that I'm having with you, consistency conflict I'm having with you, I'm having with some other people in your community as well. Because you asked me to provide proof of my scholarship in melantaed before I spoke on it. Yet, you have no proof on scholarship in the Hebrew language. You don't speak it, but you comment on it to the point where you authoritatively disagree with it. But you asked me to provide proof of having authority in the melantaed. I don't like that. I think that that is dishonest. I think that that is scholastically unfounded, and I think that that's not keeping it real.
All right.
If you said to me, Brother Garfield, you know what, Zion, it's okay that you don't know the Kemetic language because I don't know the Hebrew language, and I do go into your Torah and I do break things down. We wouldn't have no argument, but you didn't say that.
Well said.
To me, I cannot speak about Kemet because I don't even read the language. So I'm saying to you right now, if I'm going by your logic,
my logic,
I don't even want to hear you right now if I'm going by your logic. Because
all right.
what you're giving me is an interpretation of my text that you're telling me I can't read, something you tell me I can't do with yours. So if you tell me I can't do this with yours, but you on the phone right now doing this with mine, I have to tell you I can't listen to you because you're being a hypocrite.
All right. Now, there's a difference. I asked you if you could read the language, and I asked you who taught you about Kemet. Because if I know which craft or whoever you learn under, I could understand where you're coming from. So,
brother, do you want me to share the screenshot on the open screen right now? Because you know I still have it, right?
Yeah, go ahead. You can share it. My point is, me not speaking.
All right, so hold on. Let me open up the my laptop real quick to switch the screenshot. In the screenshot, Brother Garfield actually says, Zion Lexx, can you speak the Medunetta? I said to him, I'm learning. Now, I didn't tell him I was a master. I didn't lie. I didn't say I was a scholar. I said I'm learning it. And then he said, I can't understand if you don't know Medunetta, how you going into the text. So this is again what I'm saying. I don't understand how somebody could tell me that they're going to be speaking about and authoritatively disagreeing with the Hebrew text and you can't read it. You know, one person I take serious in y'all community, well, there's two and possibly three, and I'll tell y'all this right now. One person I take serious in y'all community and probably is the only person I usually call out is Polite because he really does his homework. There's a reason why I usually call this brother out because he actually does his homework and he actually is a match. A lot of y'all just not on my level to keep it all the way real. Polite actually has some kind of baseline understanding of the Hebrew language. So if me and Polite sit down and we're having a dialogue on Hebrew, sure, I'm going to go further because I have so much more time than him, but at least he's able to be on the same page with me. It wouldn't be like I'm lying to him. I can't say nothing to him that he got to say, I got to check that out, because he could read the language on a baseline level. So I really can't pull no trick up my sleeve. You don't read it, period. And you're authoritatively sharing what you agree and disagree with it with. But when I tell you I would like to do that with your script, you tell me that you can't respect that. So I have to again tell you that's hypocrisy, brother. And no matter what you say on the line right now, it sounds to me, it sounds clear to me that you haven't reached a scholastic level to even have a dialogue with me.
So hold on a second.
You're saying that I can't talk because I don't read.
Bruh, you're being slick now.
You don't read the art.
Zion, do you speak? Do you know every scholar that speaks Hebrew? Let me ask you this.
You don't read. Hold on. You don't read your own text.
Let me ask you this.
Can you read Medunetta?
Medunetta is not my text. Who said it was?
Question. Can you read Medunetta?
Who said it was my text?
Do you read Medunetta?
Hold on, brother.
Do you? It's a simple question, my brother. Do you read it?
Hold on a second. No, I don't.
All right, so you don't read it, but you did say on video, because I have it, that you were an upholder of the Kemetic doctrine. You said that I don't live by it, but brother, I have it on video. You said I uphold Kemetic doctrine. Let me finish talking. This is actually my show, by the way. So I'm not going to stand down to you. This is actually my show. This is actually my show, so I'm not going to stand down to you. It's either I'm going to talk and you're going to listen, or we're not having a dialogue. It's that simple.
You're not letting me respond.
I don't have to, because you're not answering the question that I asked you.
You made a statement that
if you answer the question that I asked you, you can respond. Until then, I'm going to keep talking over you. I'm not going to allow you to speak if you can't answer my question. Brother, I was asked to the show. You wasn't asked to the show. You trolling on the show right now.
You asked me to come on.
You trolling on the show right now. I didn't ask you to come on.
All right, brothers. Let's have some type of.
Hey, Kalam, let me ask you a question. Kalam, let me ask you.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on.
No, Kalam,
brother. 1 second. We need to have a little bit of order on the show. So this is what I'm going to do right now. Okay. I'm going to give Zion the space to make his statement or ask a question to Brother Garfield. Then please mute your mic afterwards and then let Garfield have the opportunity to respond and and keep each other's mics muted, because you know on Talk with the Titans we have 3 rules. The first rule is to keep your mics muted at all times. Second rule is to respect the other person's cipher, especially if it's the Titan that's appearing on the show. And the third rule is please no profanity. So I'm going to open it up right now for Zion Lexx to make a statement or ask a question to Garfield. Then I'm going to ask you respectfully to mute your mic and let Garfield respond.
All right, so let me just say this. Shout out to the sister Sci-Fi. She said, "Brother Zion, was you a bully in school?" Yes, sister, I was. I bullied the bullies. I said that already. Um, you know, I'm gonna just make this very, very clear again. With this brother right here, man. You know, we know each other, but apparently we don't know each other that well. You know what I'm saying? Because to keep it very, very real, I outlined my relationship with Garfield. You know, we know each other from the entertainment world. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know. So I guess that's why he can come on the show and he could go on Facebook and he basically talk shit about me. Because, you know, one thing I know is this. My friends can't disrespect me on no level. No friend of mine could do that because they know I'm going in their mouth immediately, you know, on some G shit. That's just me, and I always keep it like that. So I guess I gotta kind of I gotta watch how I use the term friend, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't go on Facebook to discredit Garfield or talk bad about him. But dude is
Okay, my brother Zion, if I could get you to ask the question to brother
I don't
Garfield.
hold on a second. I don't go on Facebook to talk bad about brother Garfield. You know why? Because when I speak of the term friend, I actually mean it, keeping it all the way 100. And me and him could disagree with doctrine, but you know, when you consider somebody a friend, there's always a level of respect that they're gonna show you to keep it all the way real. So I always keep that. I didn't actually start coming at the brother until I seen that he was disrespecting that fine line. So I guess I got to stop using the term because, again, no friend of mine could disrespect me on any level because what I do at that point is go right in their mouth. So I'm going to just keep it all the way real, keep it all the way 100 and say, Kalam, you know, peace to you. I enjoyed your show. When the time comes, you know, I'm going to see Garfield, you know, in person. We're going to talk as men. And that's that, man. Enjoy your show. Have a good night.
So, my brother, hopefully he's not fully left yet. But Garfield, you have the mic. You can open up your mic.
You know, it's funny, man. Listen, I asked the brother if you speak Melantaed, and he said no. That wasn't a criteria for me. I basically then said that who taught you? Because everybody has somebody who they go under when you learn about Kemetic. But that doesn't mean that you can't do your little private studies on your own. So when I asked the brother that, you know, everybody was saying, you know, Nazi said, well, he's been studying Kemetic for a while. Now, Kalam, I'm going to be on your show soon, right?
That's correct.
All right. I have a presentation I'm going to show and prove. And I'm going to show scholarship. And I'm going to show what the lack of scholarship is. You see, anybody could come and make a presentation and say, this is truth based on certain information. But when you don't go behind your sources and dig deep, it's a problem. Now, with Zion is cool. We cool. But the issue here I have with anybody in the Hebrew community is their scholarship. He said nobody can manage him and so forth. He said it out in the open, whatever. I said the same thing, too, about the Hebrew community. I don't think there's anybody that could dialogue with me. I cannot read Hebrew. And to be honest, I am trying to learn Hebrew. And I'm also trying to learn Melantaed, but it does not make my information, my knowledge bad. Now, why would he get upset and run off when we're going to go in a back and forth? And he said that open up the brother's mic. Now, we have to do better as a community. With Dr. Smalls, I respect Dr. Smalls. And if me and Dr. Smalls have an argument, yeah, I might say something in public and say, you know, with all due respect, Elder, with the information that you had 20 years ago or 30 years ago, it's kind of outdated. This is the updated information. We got to do things respectfully, man, because Dr. James Small is an elder. Come on, who would Zion Lexx take a bullet for? This dude was ready to take a bullet for Malcolm X. Who in the Hebrew community would he take a bullet for? Name them. Come on, Malcolm X was the epitome of the prototype of what a leader should be. And James Small was willing to take a bullet for that man. So I respect James Smalls. You know what I'm saying? And say that, oh, he got to take this L. Come on, man. Yo, bruh, when you see my presentation on your show, it's gone to another level. The Hebrews it's a warning right now. It's more than a warning shot. This foolishness that's carried on for years about people supporting. Oh my God, man. This is not scholarship, man. That's why I went on Sarnetta. This is not scholarship. And people need to understand it, not because a scholar wrote something. And that goes for the Nile Valley, it goes for the conscious community, it goes for all of us. Not because a scholar says something, that means it's true. I found 5 scholars that agree. That does not make it true. Did you go behind there? Can I show you something that Zion did, bro? Can I show you something that he did real quickly? I'm going to share my screen and let everybody look at this. And you tell me if Garfield is wrong for pointing this out or wrong for pointing this out. Let's take a look at this real quickly. This is Shaka Amo's debate, right? And let me pull up my screen so everybody at home could watch this carefully. I'm going to show you something that proves the type of scholarship that these guys have, right? Look at this. Look at this. You see this picture right here? The picture on the right hand side in the top of the screen, right? He says that Enki is the creator god in Sumerian, is usually depicted in Sumerian art, right? In such and such. Do you know how old this picture is, Kalam?
Tell me, how old is it?
This picture is from the 8th century BC, from the Assyrian library, Ashurnabal. What does this have to do with if summer predates Kemet? Why would you show a picture from the 8th century like it's a picture from 3200 BC? Let me show you something else that he did that was just outright nuts. And people call it scholarship. Look at this. And I said this to Sarnetta. And what I said to Sarnetta was simply this. I said, Sarnetta, you can't have people just come on your show and kick information and say, yeah, it's true or whatever. Look at this. And don't laugh when I show you this. I'm going to play this part for you guys real quickly here. Look at this.
Hold on. Pause that. Please, don't play the clip. Just explain what it is on there, because I haven't got any permission for Sarnetta's videos to be played.
Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. Let me show you real quickly what it is. All right. Hold on. All right. He talked about.
Hold on. Before you continue as well, please, everybody who's out there who views these videos on YouTube, whether it's Sarnetta's, whether it's mine, whether it's Brother Richie's, whether it's whoever else there is out there who has these types of videos or produce content. We are content creators, so we would definitely appreciate it if you do not bootleg our material or copy it and put it onto your own YouTube channels, etc. We don't mind it going on Facebook and so forth, but please don't put it onto the YouTube. We've tried our very hardest to produce this content for our people, and it's practically plagiarism to be taking somebody else's content and to post it onto your page or your YouTube without any prior consent. So please try not to do that. So go ahead, my brother.
Look at this right here. This says DNA model originated in Samaria, right? It says the source is Jeremy Black. Do you know I actually bought Jeremy Black's book? And this picture right here, the one that says ancient symbol of biology and medicine origins, is not even in the book. Do you know where I found this book, brother? It was on one of those Dr. York supporters Nibiru websites where they're pushing that this Ankh is in Samaria. This is not scholarship. It is not scholarship. So who want to be mad, let them be mad. Let them be mad. And I could go on and on through the whole presentation. And next thing is because these guys, what this guy is, he's just a believer. That's all he is. Let's just keep it real with the people out there. Let's just keep it real. Saying the term African American is in the Torah when this guy can't even read the Torah without diacritic marks in it or without the vowels. And I could show and prove that right now too, from his own video. He can't read Hebrew without the diacritic marks. So if you take all these marks out and you remove the alphabet, he can't read it. So now how are you going to get African American with the Paleo Hebrew without the diacritic marks and without the alphabet? This is stupidness. This is not scholarship. Come on, man. We got to do better than this, man. I don't hate Zion. What this is just not scholarship. Come on, man. We got to do better than that, man. We got to do better. I'm ready. I'm actually going to sit down with the brother. I'm going to sit down with him hopefully soon so we could just iron out whatever. And if he tries to pull that foolishness, oh, you don't speak Hebrew, I'm going to pull out how he don't speak Hebrew either. Let's not play the games. Let's not play the games here. Garfield is a beast. And any Hebrew out there that's listening, I don't hate your religion. I don't hate the fact you believe in Yahweh, Yahuwah, or whatever. I'm just have a problem with the historical information and archaeology you bring forth. Come on, man. Let's just keep it real. Come on, man. I'm here reading the guy's book. I'm reading my brother Zion Lexx book, and this guy's book says, I'm going to quote his book right now. As a matter of fact, I want to turn on my camera so people can see I'm actually reading it. Hold on one second. His book says on page 36, just as the Torah, and this is going to shock you, Kalam. Listen to this carefully. Just as the Torah relates that Cush as a people began in Mesopotamia and eventually spread to Africa, where they founded and established the Nubian Empire of Cush. So that's telling us that the Cushites are really from Mesopotamia, Asiatics, and they went to Nubia and built all them pyramids. This is scholarship. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. He said that the Ugarit is in northern Syria, northern Israel, in the ancient city of Ugarit. According to archaeology, Ugarit may in fact be even older than Samaria, thus making the land of Israel the scene of man's nativity and origin. So man came from Israel originally, not Africa, but he loves Africa. Come on, man. Are you serious?
Damn. Okay. So I would like to know, when is it exactly that you and brother Zion Lexx will actually be told together, face to face with each other, and actually delving into some real information in a scholastic, manly fashion. So when will that take place? Because I know you're trying to arrange something. You're both trying to arrange something to be sitting down on Sarnet's couch. So when can we expect to see this type of dialogue?
I don't know. We had planned for last Sunday, but he had canceled because of Dr. Smalls. And then what you call it? Then this Sunday there's an up in arms because I'm actually supposed to be out of town. But I mean, I'll cancel. I'll take an L on that cancellation just to make sure this happens. So I don't know though, because when the brother comes on your channel and talk like this and Sonata here, Sonata might not even want him on the couch. You know what I'm saying? He might not even want him on the couch. So I don't know. I can't tell, but I do know I have a presentation to give, and I'm going to point out what people don't know about scholarship. We need to step our games up.
All right. We
need to step our games up, period. That goes for me. That goes for Team Osiris. It goes for Amira Squad. It goes for everybody. We need to basically step our games up. And if we don't, we're going to be run over by everybody else. And then the people are going to be fooled continuously. You're going to have the people that taught the pseudo stuff, the Yorkites and all of them, they're going to come out. They're going to come out.
Indeed. And you know what?
Better, man.
A lot of people would like to know, what team are you on and what team are you on, first of all?
Actually, I have my own team, but I've been a part of Team Osiris for a couple of months, and that's part of Amen-Ra Squad. And I have the Dagger Squad, which is my boy Alan and Christina and and Trustorian and Meru and a couple of guys, Greg Phillips and a couple of people. It's a bunch of us, like 12 of us, the Dagger Squad.
All right.
So basically anybody, the YouTube channel just went up, the Dagger Squad. But if anybody want to see me, I mean, I'm on the Amen-Ra Squad YouTube or whatever, or they could hit me up on Facebook. But I'm all around, man. I'm all around. And by the way, Zion Lexx is my brother. But we just have a disagreement with stuff. I mean, I'm not being a hypocrite because I asked about language, because I don't claim Kemet as a religion or I follow it. I said I follow Mayat. I think he misunderstood that. I said I follow Mayat as a principle to be a better person because it represents balance. And I said it on the Sonata in the interview. I said just like the in Revelation where you have the person on the horse with the scale, that's representing balance, because if Kalam was a crook, and he was a crook for 20 years of his 30-year life, and he's trying to balance out his life because he understands Maya. If he wants to balance his life, he got to reach that 90%. He got to make that 10% reach halfway so that he could equal and balance out the bad that he did in the past so he could be a better person in the universe. That's what Maya does. That's all I follow. I don't follow the Kemetic religion and do all of this initiation and all that stuff. No, I'm not down with that. I've never been a Kemetic person that say all about Kemet. I've always been about Africa, period. Africa, South, Central, Congo, Mozambique. I'm all about Africa. I'm not about Kemet alone. That's the only spot. Nah, it don't work like that.
True.
Don't work like that.
And you know what? Where can we find Team Osiris? Does Team Osiris have a YouTube page?
We have a YouTube. We have a website, teamosiris.com. We have a website. We have a blog talk show, and we have I have a blog talk show. It's Real Talk Live. Kansu has his show. And, you know, Kansu and myself, we deal with the economics, credit, and all that stuff, funding. And yeah, we're doing a lot of things, man. We have journals coming out because we're trying to change academia, how they view things. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're all about. We're not about trying to fight people because of what you do in private. Come on, man. That's between you and your God that you worship. That ain't got nothing to do with Garfield. Garfield ain't got nothing to do with that.
Indeed.
I just put information out. That's all I do.
And in terms of your presentation, I know you got a presentation that you've been working on and you've created. Let us know when exactly will you be available to actually give your presentation on Talk with the Titans.
I was thinking Friday. That's what I was thinking.
Okay, choose another day. What day?
I heard it was Friday. No, it's another day. Oh my God! Because I wanted to do it on your channel first before I do it on Soneta.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on a second. Let me share my screen and show the people something from this article real quickly from this book called what do you call it? It's called Visible Language. And this is a book everybody should get because it talks about where the language come from and all that stuff. It says the date traditionally given for the invention of writing in Mesopotamia is 3200 BC. But this is more or less conventional. A precise date for the earliest cuneiform text has proved elusive, as virtually all the tablets were discovered in secondary archaeological contexts, specifically in rubbish heaps that defy accurate stratigraphic analysis. The sun-hardened clay tablets, having obviously outlived their usefulness, were used along with other waste such as potsherds, clay ceilings, and broken mud bricks as fill in leveling the foundations of new construction. Consequently, it is impossible to establish when the tablets were written and used. So where are these dates coming from then? If all these people are saying 3,500, 3,800, where are these dates coming from? And that's the problem. And this, let me just show Visible Language and just show the scholarship that comes behind it. Because this is what we need to look at and not look at like these kooks like L.A. Waddell, who is actually mimicking David Rohl and all these dynastic race theorists. Come on, man. This is from this is basically a bunch of writers. Let me just show you the list of them so people don't think it's a joke. This is all the people that contributed. All of the scholars. I'm not showing off scholars and say like I trust these folks and whatever, but these are the best of the best. That's the bottom line. These are the people that's in the field doing the work. So these are the people that we need to study. People like Manfred Betack's work. Those people works are important. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody. I have tons of information, man, because I'm doing the research. So I just want people to know that the work is there. Whatever they want to know, whatever information you have. I mean, if you look at as a matter of fact, let me just share a few things since the brother came off the show. Let me just share a few things on my actually. As a matter of fact, this is the actual website. If I could bring it up. This is the actual website the brother got the information from about this. See that picture right there? That's the picture that he used. This is not from the author that was in the book. Why would he come on TV and say that? Look at that. This is the same picture from a Nibura website. And if you go to this website, all they talk about is all this conspiracy stuff and all that foolishness. Let me go to something else really quickly.
And whilst you're doing that, for everybody out there as well, real quickly, if you're fresh again to Talk with the Titans, let me just give a quick outline of what we do over here. So yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of information going through on Talk with the Titans or Titans TV. We have loads of conscious lectures, discussions, interviews, and debates. If you haven't already checked out our world trending video, which is Professor Griff talking about African Bombarder and so forth, please check it out. It's gone over, 153,000 views. Please check that out. As well, we had Brother Ngozi from Amun Ra Squad and Team Osiris come on last week or a couple of weeks ago, discussing the Moorish sciences and the archaeological evidence and the scientific genetic evidence of the people who call themselves Moors. We've also had Brother Tariq Nasheed come on, giving us an interview on hidden colors. Who else we've had on? We've also had Zaza Ali on. We had the Moors, Sharif Bey responding to Shaka Ahmos, Minister Enki as well, Sarnetta, Young Pharaoh, Amun Ra Squad, Nasi Yashavel, Dr. Ma'at come on the show as well. So please check out the past shows, and we've got some exciting shows actually lined up for you guys as well. Hopefully, we're going to have our brother Sankofa in the building. Very soon we should have our brother in the building. And as well, we do a speakers corner section where we have loads of debates over here in the UK. We have Muslims, Christian debates, Kemetic debates, atheist debates, you name it, whatever ideology out there, feminists debates as well. So whatever the ideology, we have those debates over here in the UK. So please check those out. As well, for those people who are interested in my own works, I do a great lecture and reading the primary of the hieroglyphs, the 42 laws of Ma'at, reading straight from the papyrus of Ani. So that's really good. So please check it out if you want some more information on the ancient Egyptian moral judicial system and learning how to pronounce or announce and read the actual hieroglyphs. Also, we do loads of debates. I do the debates in there. I also dedicate loads of videos to the Muslim community, the Kemetic community, to the Hebrew community as well. So please check out that section. And if you're into African history and philosophy, we have a great presentation by our brother Ranoko Rashidi when he was last in the UK. So yeah, real quickly, let me just come back in. Garfield, if you're there.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready, brother.
Go through with your information. I just want to let everybody know that our brother Zion Lexx, he only had a very short time to actually be with us. And you know what, 1 o'clock my time, I was supposed, would be the time that he had to actually leave. He only had an hour and a half with us, but because we started a bit late, he therefore had to leave a bit earlier in terms of the videoing. So he didn't run necessarily like that most where I see you talking about in the comment section. He literally had to go early, so that's the reason why. So just had to clear that out basically. So go ahead, my brother.
You gotta clear nothing up, man. We know what it is. Hey, listen, this is Natslet Kater. It's a series of 8 archaeological sites with Middle and Upper Paleolithic occupations located in Egypt. Right? This was like 40,000 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. These people in Egypt were doing mining. So you look at any culture that's doing mining and you see a culture that's actually way ahead of the game. The NK2 is the purposeful burial of a subadult male in a supine position found at the summit of a hill 250 meters from the closest quarry. All right, I just wanted to drop that. Next thing I want to talk about, the archaeologists unearthed a 70,000-year-old African settlement. Wow. Settlement where? Northern Sudan in the Nile Valley region. Come on, man. People want to talk about who's first and who's second. Come on, man. Let's deal with the truth. Let's deal with what's really going on here. Let's deal with what's going on here. Let me do something here real quickly here. This is about the Gebel El Arat knife. A lot of people don't know that. This is called scholarship right here. The Gebel Arat knife. You've heard about this, right, Kalam? When they talk about how they stole the motifs from Mesopotamia and all this stuff. Laron talks about it all the time. A couple of people talk about it who talks about Samaria. Now come to find out, the knife, we don't even know where the knife came from. But you'd have to do your research to find that out. They actually got it from a dealership. There's no provenance with the knife. So look at what the knife actually has on it. It has something from a Gudian, somebody with a Gudian hat, and the people in the Gudia didn't come to the area until 2000 BC. So how could this be something that's dated way back from the time of when they're saying 3500 BC. Let me see what else I have here on my screen I could talk about real quickly here. The Gebel Arrow knife. And by the way, this is a good one right here. This is what they look like. And that person is on the picture on the on that thing. All right. This is some Noble Draw Lee stuff, private stuff. All right. Now we get off of that. Well, pretty much, Kalam. I mean, you know what? You know how much time you got left, Kalam? Because I could just set up something and just talk about a few things if you want. I didn't know somebody can't talk about the Bible because they can't read Hebrew. That's crazy.
You know what? We may have to reserve that for a second show. You know, if I wasn't feeling underneath the weather right now, I would actually do the second show literally right.
I'm going right now, man, right now. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the Sphinx for Egypt has been redated to 7,000 to 10,000 over actually 15 years now, and it has not been contested by Robert Schoch, the guy from Boston University. I'm going to bring that out in my presentation and show that you show me a civilization that had something that's great as the Sphinx. That's all I'm asking. Show me something greater than that. If you want to talk about aging, not that it matters with Africa. Africa is Africa. You know what I'm saying? They found houses, 15,000-year-old houses. Come on, man. I got so much stuff on my computer drive, man. I could talk for years, man. I could talk for years, man. Any topic. I got all my bullets right here. They could see. I'm sharing my screen. They could see all my bullets are right here. Passover origins. I would have asked my brother if he had stayed on the line. The Passover origins. Let's go to Garfield's videotape. Passover origins. The Israelite religions and archaeological study. Let's look at this.
Hold on.
Also celebrated.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on. This right here is Zion Lexx's show. So I don't want to conflate it with your information that you're dropping right now. What I will do, you know what? I really do want to do a second show.
But you're tired. It's awkward.
But I need that energy right about that. I need that energy. If I got that energy in, I will do a second show. What's the time right now? What's the time now? It's 1:25 over here in the morning. That would last until about 3:30, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Okay. Go to bed, bro. Go to bed.
You know what? Are you doing a presentation? Do you have your presentation ready? Because you know what? If you've got that presentation ready, oh my gosh, I can sit back, I can chill, I can get a notepad, you know, and I can learn something tonight. So if you've got something like that where I don't actually have to talk much.
Let me look at look what it's called. Look what it's called. You ready for that?
Oh man. Okay, so you know what? If you've got something lined up right now.
Nah. It's not.
We saving that.
Saving that. That's for when I get on the air with you.
All right, cool. All right.
To let you know it's in the works. But what you call it though? I mean, if you need me to drop something right now, I mean, I could get it in for you if you want.
All right. You know what I'm gonna do? All right.
Or you could just go to your bed.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up a second show. If everybody would like to see a second show, please press the 1 button down below. Hit me up with the ones. If I get over 10 ones right now in the next 60 seconds, hopefully we got over 200 plus people watching. So I know that shouldn't be a problem. But if we don't, I'm going to my bed. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to relax. I'm going to take my much needed medication right here. I kind of chill out, okay?
All right, cool. You sound sick as hell.
Hold on. I'm seeing loads of ones. If I share my screen with you right now, just so you lot know, I'm seeing a load of ones right now. So I'm guessing the audience members have spoken. I do the will of our audience. And it seems as though you lot actually want another show to go on. Can you lot see that right now? Kalam, let's get it, brother. MLP 1, Muse 1, Africa 1, Cassandra 1. Everybody is shouting out 1. The list can literally go on, but I'm going to stop it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a second show. I'm going to get you, brother Garfield, to go in. I'm going to get, I see Armin Ross squad would like to get involved as well. I see a few Team Osiris members would like to get involved as well. So give me a while. Let me just medicate myself. And let me set up a new show, and then we can get it on and pop it. All right. So for everybody who is not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button right now. Hit the subscribe button, and be prepared to see a next show coming in live real soon. Also,
what are you gonna name it? You're gonna name it Garfield Goes In?
we'll find the name. I'm just gonna write Garfield. Okay. So for everybody who's seen this show right now, please hit the share button and let everybody know we've had our brother Zion Lexx going in, discussing Professor James Small. He's encountered with Professor James Small. How he felt. It seems as though I'm not too sure, but it seems as though he done a very good job with Professor James Small. What I did see of him, he did definitely hold his own. He definitely did put forward some information. But again, I didn't watch the whole thing. So by the way he's talking, and by the way I'm seeing some comments, it seems as though Zion Lexx did an extraordinary good job. I know everybody would like to take that away from him, but it seems as though he did a very good job. And give a big thumbs up to our brother Zion Lexx. We've also had Garfield on for the last section of the show, having a small encounter with brother Zion Lexx, and he's going to be giving a short presentation and answering some questions on Hebrewisms and the Kemetic, the Sumerian information as well. So please stay tuned. You're going to see the live show pop up literally for the next 5 minutes. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been Talk with the Titans. I've been your host, Kalam, and I'm signing out. Peace.